It's Pastor Matthew here for our children's praise lesson. We're working through our catechism questions. We're going to be on question 42 today. And if you remember, as we've been learning our lessons, we've started to talk about the 10 commandments. And you can remember them because you have 10 fingers. They're called the moral law. Do you remember the moral law? I want you to take your hand, put it over your heart. Remember, God put his law in your heart. And everybody's got a hand, everybody's got a heart, because everybody knows the moral law. And the moral law are the 10 commandments. Now, our question today is this. Question 42 says, what is the essence of the 10 commandments? And the essence of the 10 commandments is to love the Lord, our God, with all our heart, with all our soul, with all our strength, and with all our mind. And to love everyone else as we love ourselves. So there it is. The big commandment that Jesus gave us is that we should love God with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and that we love everyone else around us as we love ourselves. So here's the place where Jesus actually told us this. It's in the Gospel of Matthew, in chapter 22, verse 36 says this. These teachers came to Jesus and said, Jesus, what's the greatest commandment in the law? And he said to him, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the greatest and the first commandment. The second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments depends the whole law and prophets. So did you hear what Jesus said? He said that there's two commandments. There's one that's more important, and then the second one. The first one is to love God, so that's an upward commandment. And the second commandment is to love everyone else around you. So it's easy to remember really what the 10 commandments are, because you just have to love upward and you have to love outward. Up and out. So that's what makes it so big, so great, because they asked Jesus, what's the biggest commandment you can think of? And that's it, to love God really, really tall and to love people really, really wide. So here's a picture of what you're going to find is the largest tree that anyone has ever found. It's called the Sherman tree, General Sherman tree, and it is really, really big. So you'll see this picture, and it looks big, right? It's just so big and huge. But when you actually have someone standing next to it, you see the picture where the man's standing at the bottom of the tree? Well, the bottom of the tree's 36 feet around. Can you imagine trying to hug that tree? That's impossible. But see, that's how we're supposed to love each other. We're supposed to love each other really, really wide. Like, so put your arms out so wide so you can try to hug everybody you meet and love everybody. That's a big commandment, just like a big tree like this. But also it's a big tree because it's really, really tall. You see in this picture, it's actually almost as tall as the Statue of Liberty. The Sherman tree is 275 feet tall. That's really tall. So that's how we're supposed to love God that tall. We're supposed to love God up, and we're supposed to love people outward. Just like this really big tree is this commandment that Jesus has given us, the greatest commandment. You see, the greatest tree is really tall and really wide. Well, that's the same thing for God's commandments. His command for us is really tall. Love God with everything, and really wide. Love people as you love yourself. So now you know what the center essence is of the moral law.